All right, cool. I'm live. It is afternoon. Good afternoon here, um, YouTube. Now my video is going to be, or my live stream. Like, what the fuck's my pencil? I'm not prepared whatsoever. I know my beard looks like shit. I'm going to draw you people a very special picture. It's an amazing art rendition of a touchy subject. I'm not sure if YouTube will take my channel down, block me, or whatever. You know, with all the shit that's going on with Alex Jones, since they don't care about different opinions or views for people, I'm not going to be concerned because that is what my message is today. I'm not going to be scared of some people who want to, bully and threaten and rape and harass because my personal worldviews were hurt. And I'm not saying that all of them are like that, but if I want to draw a picture, well, fuck, I'm going to draw a picture. It could be really any beliefs, anybody's beliefs, views, or whatever on this, but this particular one is going to be a special one. I'm working on this. It's a working project, and very, very special. I'm gonna form a little hat here. There we go. And I used to be censored like growing up, or because I'd like to draw, and my mom and dad were not pro free expression, I think it would be, because I'd joke around, or tease, like kids tease. So I was just like, my brother would get like easily offended or upset, so I would tease him. So it's just joking around shit. Kids joke around or tease each other. That's just how it is. And my parents were not okay with that. Okay, so I'm just working on this here. You just bear with me for a minute. And yeah, this is turning out all right. All right. Okay, so this is they say you're not supposed to draw this, but I guess I can give eyeballs. We'll give them a little squiggly mouse. Okay, so this Sunday is I'm going to make this my personal Allah Muhammad picture. So the bigger one is this Allah, and this is Muhammad, and these are Muhammad's little girl wives, and yeah, it's so offensive. Just like looking at that is just so offensive. These stick figure pictures of these characters. Now, if you're going to get offended and you want to come at me, motherfuckers. I mean, you really shouldn't kill people over like stick figures of so-called religious types, like of characters. But this literally, I could say this could be anybody. I could say this could be Allah, like God. That's God and that's Jesus. Like I could do the same thing with like the Christians' deity and Messiah or whatever. I could do that with any type of view, pretty much. And like, you won't get death threats or murdered over, just that. That's why people are more worried about, the Muslims religion, because they come off more extreme, and that not used to be the case, but it is now. And that's because with Christians, those types of religious people, they've really simmered down. Now, you can't say that for not as much for the Muslims' faith. I mean, because if you could, then you wouldn't have people being killed over drawing cartoons in a newspaper, or people killing females and gays and people who are cross-dressing transvestites and anybody who they don't agree with. You wouldn't have that shit happening if they were not violent. You can call it racist all you want all day long, but that shit goes on and that shit happens. It's not fucking racist, because Muslim is not a fucking race. If you don't, I don't give a fuck about the demonetization or whatever the fuck, okay? But Muslim is not a race. It's just not. Anybody can be a Muslim. I could just say I'm a Muslim. Look at my beard. I'm a Muslim. No. If I was a Muslim, I wouldn't be drawn like this shit though. Muhammad and Allah. Oh, so scary. Oh, we can't draw that. We can't do that. So fucking stupid. Why even get offended or give a shit about this? Like, if your religion's so peaceful, why the fuck would you kill others because you're butthurt for your religion? I'm not being overboard or insensitive. The people who are being fucking insensitive are the ones going around fucking murdering others over this shit. That's a fucking fact. A fucking fact. Now, one thing in common that religious people in America, now I might get some shit for this, so, it's been in the news about these pedophiles and all these religious groups. But you have this shit going on in with the grooming gangs, and it's a problem all over, the UK and all these types of places, going around taking advantage of non-Muslim girls. But you have the same type of issue in other religious groups, churches and places like that. Little, girls and boys being taken advantage of. And it's sick. It's disgusting. If you're going to run a group that's supposed to be superior morally, you shouldn't have people fucking kids in your group. That is not moral. That's like the most disgusting fucking vile thing that you could do. So to say that any of these institutions are fucking superior morally, to me, being an atheist, they're fucking not. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm better than those people. I'm saying, what I am saying though is that your moral compass needs to be examined if you're in a group that is harboring child molesters, pedophiles and child molesters, and then wanting to kill gay people, where gay people, they're consenting adults. People who fuck kids are not fucking, consenting adults or fucking children. Your group's not superior, like morally wise, if you have those types in your group. And that happens especially in other countries where they're perfectly okay with that type of shit going on, fucking 11, 12 year olds, but okay, it's not okay. Those are children. Get your shit together. It's fucked up is why I'm laughing. People are more concerned about other things they view as a bigger issue. No, we need to take care of the fucking issue of people who are perverts and child molesters and that type of shit inside of the religious communities. We need to knock that shit out. Like people who are in these groups that have parts in these groups, they need to ostracize those people. I'm not anti religion or religious people or religious groups. What I'm saying is they need to take care of those types of people in their groups and get those fuckers out of their groups. Fucking weed them out if you have to. Those people are fucking sick, twisted individuals. And I don't see really a cure for it. The only way to deal with that issue is to, they say the death penalty is expensive. I would say that it's not expensive because I've never seen something expensive as a rope or bullets, you know, those types of issues. Like if they know for a fact that they have the DNA evidence, they have the child in question, they have the parents or the guardians saying that this happened, that this person did this, and they have all the evidence and the DNA evidence and all of that shit's in order and all that shit's in line with what the fucking facts are, then those fuckers, in my opinion, those people should be taken out there, taken care of. Now, I mean, that to me would be just. But the fucked up part is, what I'm saying the fucked up part is in prisons here, where I'm from, they deal out more justice than the justice system does. They don't tolerate these types of people. That's why they try to separate them and keep them away from other prisoners. You know, but it's sad when the court systems do not deal with these perverts, and the justice system does not deal with the perverts. The prisoners deal with the perverts and not the justice system. You know, they need to take the initiative of doing the duty or their job in dealing out fair justice, because those children that are being messed with, they're permanently fucking messed with in the head because of what these perverts have done to them. That's a fact. It's just, there's no getting a way around that. Like, to me, the arguments against what I'm saying from religious groups is bullshit if you're going to have people who are those types of perverts in your group. I'm criticizing those groups for the perverts in the groups. Now, if you deal with those issues and you get those types of people out of your groups, I'm more for you doing that to take care of your issues about those types of people. You would make society better. Everything around would be better. There's no reason. You know, I understand and I acknowledge that the shit that used to go on in the past and people were more accepting of that type of shit. But we have better technology. We're more intelligent. We know that that shit is not right. We know that it does mental abuse, physical abuse. You don't keep doing the same shit and expecting different outcomes. So you don't keep doing that expecting different outcomes, because, you know, you fuck with these kids and then you expect them to be fine. They're not going to be fine because they're mentally fucked for the rest of their lives. Like the guy who had messed with one of my sisters, he only got 4 years, only 4 years for being a child molester. And I even think he was messing with his own daughters. 4 years. 4 fucking years? Are you fucking kidding me? 4? Only 4. We gotta do better than this. This is not fucking justice at all. Like, what the fuck is going on with the court systems? You know, they need to fucking change this shit and get it right. Fucking do shit that's gonna fix society. Not just for, you know, research for helping diseases, but fucking change some of these laws to actually give fucking victims, you know, some kind of peace of mind. Because 4 or 5 years isn't enough. If you're gonna, if somebody's going to do those types of things to kids that can't protect themselves, they need to serve a long ass fucking time in prison or be put down. It's one of the other, because 4 or 5 years isn't enough time, you know, for them doing that type of thing. And yeah, this would be a big blow to fucking Muslims who like to rape little kids, because when you're fucking kids that are like 9, 10, 11, 12, or masturbating on babies and all that kind of weird fucked up shit, you know, it's not right. It's morally fucking bankrupt. You have no stance. Your whole cause is morally bankrupt, and one of the worst forms at that too. Yeah, just wanted to make a video getting that out there. Also, I'd like to bring up what's funny to me is I'm not saying I'm anti this video game, but there's a video game, and this is jumping from that topic, from a religious topic, to video games. So this is an older PlayStation game. I'm playing it right now. It's fun. I can't believe I haven't played it before, but it was free on PlayStation. So it's Mafia 3, I think is what it's called. There's an irony to this, because Mafia 3, it's back, you know, like when Vietnam was going on and shit. And I'm not even sure how to phrase this, but Haitians, that this underground Haitian group, this is to do with, I mean, I was trying to pay attention to what they were saying, but I didn't have it loud enough to where I could barely hear it, because it was like late. And then, but that's basically what the group is in America, what they were doing, had to deal with that and the mob. And one thing I've noticed, and you know, it's probably pretty accurate back in that time, where people were, you know, throwing around certain words a lot, and they not only said the word that gets, you know, people in major trouble these days, they said every form of that word in the game. I'm for freedom of speech, and I'm for, you know, game developers making games that are pretty accurate of the error in the scenario. I'm for that. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm for, you know, people being that way. I'm just saying I'm for, you know, accurately portraying a time error. And this is why a lot of people, they don't like that, is the new Battlefield, I think that is what game was coming out, where it was to do with like a woman with a prosthetic limb with some kind of cords or something wrapped put on it, or some shit that moved the claws, or I don't even know. It just looked really bizarre, because, you know, a woman on the front line with other soldiers, and so it opens the possibility to having multiple women on the front line with other male soldiers. Just doesn't seem very accurate at all. Maybe for other military forces, but American forces, you know, I could be a little far off here, but as far as I'm aware of, historically speaking, that doesn't sound very historical or correct. But the Mafia 3, I'm not saying that everything that happened in that game happened in real life. I'm just saying, like, the irony here is, like, that game had not been brought up at all in the media, which is the funny part. Because usually this type of thing, if somebody says these types of words, the N word, the no bad words, the N word, not just the NIR, the other, all the pronunciations of that word are in that game. I don't use that word. I don't use certain types of words. Personally, I mean, I'm not anti people using certain words. I'm just myself. I don't use certain words. I don't want to be called certain words. I know some people don't want to be called certain words. I just don't use those words to be respectful of, different people. And you might say that's a contradiction to what you were saying earlier with religion, but religion is not a ethnicity. I know people like to try to make it that way, but it's not. And religion is its own thing. I know this will confuse Muslims because Muslims want to try to mix those things, but you cannot mix something that's not, that you have no physical evidence for your claims. You're just whatever ethnicity you are, and claiming that your ethnicity and your religion is mixed, and your politics. You cannot mix those things. I mean, you can try, but you look what you have with the Middle Eastern religion. Mixing those things is a bad idea because you're mixing your religious laws with your religion. That's a bad idea. Why it's a bad idea is you have people throwing acid in people's faces. You have people getting married to underage little girls, little kids. You have people killing gays, and you have far leftists fucking backing this type of mentality. This is the most backwards fucking shit I've ever heard, and makes no fucking sense. It would be like me being for LGBT rights and all these people's rights, and then saying, well, you can't say something about the KKK because those people just need to be tolerated. Yes, I'm making the comparison with the KKK and Muslims because they both have some hateful fucking shit in them. I've met people who were racist but didn't want to do harm to anybody. They were just fucking racist. I'm not fucking racist. I've just been raised around in a southern state, yes, but the narrative that people like to assume or make is everybody from Midwestern states and southern states are fucking racist. Not everybody in those fucking states are actually fucking racist. That's just you having this false narrative of people living there being fucking racist. Not everybody is fucking racist. Maybe they might have little bit of racist thoughts here and there, but I can guarantee you that everybody has these fucking types of thoughts. Everybody, not just one person or a few. Everybody probably has those types of fucking thoughts, depending on their life experiences. Maybe they got screwed over by a particular group of ethnicity type people, and they feel a certain way about those people, even though all those people in that group are not like that. You can't put all the people that are in that group in that one box and say they're all evil or they're all bad or they're all wrong. Ethnicity wise, you cannot do that. You cannot say everybody's like that. But that's not the same thing as saying people in a religion are their own. That's that own separate ideas. Those are ideas. Ethnicity is ethnicity. Ideas are ideas. Religion is its own set of ideas. And somehow I got back into that, but they all kind of correlate because video games also, like with Mafia 3, they put that time period into the game. They take a human type of time periods and stuff like that, and they can put them into games. I know that they can make games completely nothing to do with those issues or with humans. It could be something completely different or somewhere else, far in space and all that shit. Like Halo, like if it's in the future, or I don't know, like the whole background story of Halo, but it can just be completely fucking different, or Star Wars. Star Wars is like set somewhere far, far away in a galaxy far, far away. you know. So it can be about something completely fucking different, a different universe or time reality. Um, but to me, and this is where like I kind of argue with people about with racist or people who are racist. Um, I think it's a type of ideas. Maybe there's stereotypes that can be true, but I think people are raised that are really far racist. They're raised that way, and people who are raised that way, they that's why they are the way they are. Is what I'm saying. Um, Depending on your environment, you know, your upbringing, your education. If you've had a good life and you've had all these things, your family's well off, and you have, you know, parents that are moral or, you know, intelligent, moral, kind people, I'm sure your outcome would be, you know, pretty good. Or you would assume that. I've met people who've come from those types of families, but still turned out, you know, fucked up for whatever reason. Um, you know, people make screwed up decisions and fuck up their lives um, all the time. So I think it depends on a lot of those things. Yeah, but I would like to see them try to do something to me here. I'm not in the UK where the UK is cucked. And this is what's funny about the UK. I'm bashing on UK, you motherfuckers now. Because you motherfuckers, y'all are being taken over. Y'all have so much issues with people that are Muslim right now. And the majority agrees with a lot of the stuff that says goes on that doesn't go on. You know, like these grooming gangs. I mean, shit, your fucking police there, as far as I'm aware, don't even carry guns. They can't protect themselves properly. They they don't want to that often to people who are criminals that molest, rape underage girls that are not Muslim. All this fucked up shit. But your police want to arrest people over a fucking thought on the internet. Let that fucking sink in, you backward fucks. Yeah, and if you're offended by that, fuck yourself or ask a Muslim to, you know, how to fuck a goat. Because y'all are fucking morons, idiots. And you want to say us Southerners are idiots? No, you people are fucking idiots. You're letting be your country, live in your country, and fucking cuck you, especially with their fucking religion. You cannot fucking say it's not happening. And then you want to shit on us for fucking Trump? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Yeah, we might have somebody in the office that looks like a clown. Maybe comes off as particular type of ways. Um, we didn't really have very good choices here. We had Hillary Scumfuck Clinton, who is a fucking sellout, just like a lot of them who fucking lies constantly, changes her fucking moral stance depending on who the fuck she's pandering to. She was anti-gay marriage. And then you people want to sit there and say that we should have made an obvious choice. There was no obvious choice in a shit sandwich and a shit taco. Okay, because both of those choices are pretty fucking shitty. You know, we 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 had the option to vote for another person, but those votes ultimately go to the candidate on the left or right, and depending on what state you're in. I personally think that our vote system should be, you know, the popular vote, because it's the votes that are all counted for, you know, not this system that's set up to each state, and whoever has the most and fucking wins. I mean, like Hillary Clinton, as far as I'm aware, she had more votes for the popular vote. I agree with that system because it seems fair. Um, and then a lot of these weird fucking conspiracy theories going on. Like it was not for people that are on the far left. That's saying it was an obvious or easy choice. Not really. It was just two shit choices. I don't think you should have somebody who is a businessman being able to run in politics because of the fact that it's, you know, mixing business and pleasure. You're mixing those two things. I mean, even though, like, even if he gave up his fucking businesses or whatever just to be president, you know, he had the mindset of a businessman. That's not a good idea to have that person as your front main man as your Republican candidate. And it's not a good idea to have a woman that's never had any experience before her husband became president and then started, you know, being you know, in the into politics and then moving up just because she's fucked up. You know, I don't like Hillary Clinton. I never have. I don't. It's not because I don't, you know, because she's a woman. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what the fuck the sex of the person is. If I gave a shit what the sex of the person is, why the fuck would I vote for Jill Stein? I fucking voted for Jill Stein. I wanted to vote for a female. I didn't want to vote for her, for fucking Hillary, because she's a waste of fucking space. Okay? Nobody fucking wanted her. Nobody fucking liked her. You know who did like the person on the Democratic side that a lot of people fucking liked? They liked fucking Bernie Sanders. He cucked. He cucked. He was going to probably lose to Trump, but fucking not only did Bernie Sanders fucking cuck, he took people's fucking money for his campaign, his fucking backers, his donors. I feel sorry for those people. He took their fucking money. Now I hear that he wants to try to run fucking again. Are you fucking serious? After you fucked all of your fucking backers, and you know, at first, you know, until people started pointing out about his ideas, like the issues with his ideas, I thought they might maybe have been, you know, decent ideas. Noob. Well, fuck. Shit. You know, maybe that's correct. But the issue with Bernie is I did not say that word. I did not say that fucking word. Okay. Um that's what the fucking Mafia 3 was constantly saying in their game. Now, there wasn't well, they were both black and white people in that game saying that word. I'm not pro saying that word because I don't use words that I don't feel comfortable with saying. Um, well, you can do that if you want. I'm not stopping anybody. I'm for, you know, freedom of expression. Um, I have no issue with that. I'm just pointing out the fucking double standards with, you know, in my opinion, with like left and right views. I don't find that Bernie would have won against Trump because Bernie is kind of a cuck. He let like Black Lives Matter take over his event in one of his events. The fact that they failed to left out for Trump's events that they were being paid for by Trump. So whenever he kicks people out, he can do that if he wants, you know, because he paid for them. I don't think the treatment of people that were being kicked out was very fair, very nice, the way they treated people. Like taking their coats and saying you should take their jackets and make them leave when it was freezing cold. And, you know, it seemed kind of fucked up. But it was his event, you know. It was, you know, for him, he was able to do that. That was his event. He had all rights to do that. You know, has he said, you know, things that I would say that were a good idea? No, it was fucked up when he was making fun of somebody who had, okay, I have no idea. Okay, it's my computer location. All right. I'm illiterate whenever it comes to that type of thing, but all right. God damn it. yeah, it's I don't know, the whole situation with political candidates seems fucked. Um, I have not played Destiny 2. I played Destiny 1, and these games, the way like they look good, but my issue with these games is I want like not only a game that looks decent or okay, but that's fun. And I've never played the second one. It was whenever I did play the second one, it was stressful in the fact that um, one of the people that I was playing with was really aggressive, and if you fucked up, they were like, "You motherfucker! God damn it! Blah, 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 blah. I can't believe you got the It was a bazooka, the one that the shells go and they target the thing that you're shooting at. I got that bazooka, and the person was fucking pissed off and freaking out. I played the first one, and after playing with somebody who was like that aggressive with the game, I was just like, this is no fun to me anymore. It used to be. No, I don't have autistic problems. I don't like playing with people who get over the top with games. Like I like to play games, but I like to play games to have fun. And I'm not having fun if the game I'm playing is more stressful than fun. Um, yeah, but it's games like that is aggravating because you have shooter games, you have Fortnite, you have Battlefront, the new Star Wars shooter games. You have Call of Duty. You have that new one. Battlefield. Is Battlefield the one with the SJW issues in it? Like the women's issues in it. Like people are saying, don't buy this game if you don't like our women's being shoved into that game. Yeah, you have all these different shooters, but my issue with these shooters is a lot of them are gearing towards like PvP type of online PvP events to where they have different initiative goals. I don't have an issue with that. What my issue is with those games is that that's all they're focused on is seemingly to be just that. Now, I understand a lot of the younger people, a lot of the kids, and it makes me feel really, really old, but teens, younger kids, famous people who play Fortnite, um, they play Fortnite because you can pretty much build while you're playing the game, like while you're running around shooting other players. Um, it's in invade or it's intuitive, like it's very with the game is very intuitive, like being able to build structures while you're running around and shooting other players and trying to stay inside the fuck, I don't know what it's called, portal or fucking deal closing around. I don't know, maybe I have autism, I have no fucking clue. I mean, I've heard what some of the symptoms are, but who the fuck knows? Maybe I do. I don't know. I try not to worry about things I can't control too much. If I do, but yeah, it also like it has a building mode. Um, you fight other players while you're playing the mode, and I have no issues if people have fun playing that. Personally, it just seems kind of boring because it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And again, like I used to play RPGs, and RPGs were kind of similar, but you actually had like a story narrative, and you could build experience and level up your character and get gear and you know get make your character to where they're on a higher level equipment wise and level wise. So that's interesting about RPGs. The problem with RPGs is it gets to a point where it can hit a brick wall with what they can do in RPGs. But RPGs, to me, in my personal opinion, still are more fun than a game that's just based around first-person shooters. But Fortnite's issue is that unlike PUBG, that PUBG's kind of has a more realistic type of look to it, whereas Fortnite looks kind of cartoony, like a type of a WoW shooter. Oh fuck, what is that game called? Blizzard has a shooter. I can't think of what it's called. I can't think of the name of it. Fuck, and they put a SJW looking female character in that game too. She's kind of like a heavyset girl, just to make the social justice agenda people like happy, I guess. I'm not really sure. So, like that group or area seemed like that's the direction they were going. Just like how D&D and Magic the Gathering is going in this like politically correct type of narrative. I don't mind people wanting to be like more like woke or whatever. I'm egalitarian or humanitarian type of view. I think people should be treated fair, as long as you're not using a religious view to ostracize or take somebody's employment away or those types of things. I want to be able to raise my kids in a society where that type of thing is not an issue. Like people, helping each other out, taking care of each other. But the weird thing about that is people want to use religion to push that type of agenda. It's not always the case because you have groups that do that, like that help out, that don't use that type of agenda to take credit. That to me is what's odd about groups like religious groups, is they want to take credit for those things to say, see, look at us, we're doing something good, instead of just doing that thing for good, instead of just saying, look at us, just do the good thing, the good deed, that you want to do to help others out. And that's the reward, is you did the good deed that you were wanting to do. Now, if you're doing a good deed and you're taking credit for it, it kind of puts a blemish on the good deed that you did when you're trying to take credit for it. It doesn't make you look very sincere if you try to take credit for it. My point being, like, you personally feel good or better about doing this said deed. Fuck, I got sidetracked. Oh, shit. I don't even remember what the I know it's to do about video games. Like, well, that's my issue with first-person shooters, though, is they're very boring and very dull. Some of them can be pretty and fun to look at because they look so good. And then at that point, I get distracted from just looking at the graphics, and then I get killed, and I have to re-enter into a match, and it makes it hard to concentrate and not too fun because I'm more focused on the graphics than the actual PvP that I'm doing. But that to me is not very fun, like, as a game, because it's not really a game because you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Like, if they want to sell a game for $60, you're going to need to make a game with a campaign and the option to PvP. The issue with Fortnite is they had said this game on the side that they're developing for free is going to be for free in 2018. It's already 2018. Now, their issue is they're developing this game still, and people are paying to play early access, but the game should be already out and already for free. Well, shit, I wish I was an elite gamer, but no, I'm not. Like there's particular things that I can pick up well on, like putting things together, make like technology. If somebody tells me like how to put something like together and tells me which order and how, like I can do that. But like if you were trying to speak to me in like codes and hacking and all this other stuff, I would not have any idea what the fuck is going on. I would be at a complete loss because I really have I'd never learned anything about that. But like for some weird reason, like whenever it comes to actually like putting stuff, you know, back together or like doing things like that with my hands, it's not too big of an issue. I can kind of pick up on the like your tower, you know, like I read a book about like tech, about the tech in it or whatever, and then it tells you like how, or like somebody telling you how to put it back together. Like I can do that type of thing, but like the other side of it, like the programming wise type part, no, I'm not real computer savvy at all. Again, I was, and I'm not blaming this. I'm not trying to blame this on religion. I was raised by religious people, you know, religious parents. They're to a point they're faulty with the way they raised us, but you know, not everybody's perfect, or can say that they're perfect, but you know, it is what it is all I can say about that. You know, I can't say that I've had the best education, but you know, I learn new stuff all the time. Yeah, especially like if it's words that I don't know, I will go and look it up and try to get a better understanding of the words. You know, like how people say nuance of ideas. So whenever there's a lot of words being thrown around in arguments on the internet, in debate rooms and forums, and somebody throws some big words up that I don't know, and they're just using them just to make somebody sound bad, and I'll actually want to go and look up that word to see what it says and see what it means, so I can understand what they're saying and not just go along with it and pretend or act like I know what they're saying. But whenever I'm in those types of debates, forums, things like that, people will throw articles at me. And as far as I know, I'm not autistic. I have ADHD issues. So with those types of issues, it makes it hard for me to focus for long periods of time, especially when I don't understand or know all of the words that are being said in the article. But some weird reason, they're like whenever I hear the words, like when I watch a video and I hear the words, some words I get an understanding for the meaning of them when I hear them in they're in a certain type of context. And some words I don't. I've just been pretty good at that type of thing. You know, like in English classes but whenever it comes to concentrating, whenever like I'm writing, when I'm writing or typing, sometimes what'll happen is I'll write letters out of order or backwards or whatever, like a dyslexia type of issue. I can't help that. It's just something I do, not purposely, and I'm not trying to use it as an excuse. I'm not the type of person who says if you have issues that you're disabled and you can't do anything at all. I think you can still function as a human being. I think you can still live a good life. I think everybody should. And there's been, examples of people who've struggled through those types of things, physical and mental issues. There's one I seen. This guy, he had what is that muscle? Cerebral palsy. He had that. Despite having that, he worked out and he got an incredible toned, ripped, um, muscular shape. And I'm talking about a guy who had the thing that should make it almost impossible to do, had overcome those odds. Um, that's one of the benefits if say this person was religious. It's one of the benefits of that type of view is those types of views can help you overcome humongous odds, and the people with those types of views make amazing stories. I've not seen too many people make amazing stories like that had a religious inspiration, where they can make some amazing stories like Lord of the Rings. That whole realm of Lord of the Rings had some really good narrative ideas and good storytelling. I just wish they would have spent more time developing the story in the movie, though, because there's a lot of stuff that in the book that was left out compared to the movie. But that is what it is. I liked it okay. I'm not saying I thought it was perfect, but I liked it okay. It wasn't like the worst movies that I've seen. I've seen a lot worse movies. You know, some of my favorite movies, like Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters. I didn't like Star Wars whenever I watched it. I was forced to watch it. It was almost like a religious thing. Like my parents forced on me and my older brother. My older brother really liked it though, so we had to nonstop watch it over and over and over again. So it grew on me like a fungus, but in a good way, because whenever I saw them using the lightsabers, I enjoyed watching that part of it. So the more I watched it and got enjoyment out of that, and then I learned about the story-wise, narratively, what was going on, and it kind of grew on me, just like Star Trek or 007, those types of things grew on me. Now, my dad would always watch, like NFL games growing up. And I learned about NFL and other sports games. I just wasn't huge on sports games, not all sports games, but there's some like soccer. You take soccer, for example. Soccer is a really demanding physical sport. You have to be in amazing shape to run back and forth on a field. I mean, you do not even realize how much stamina you need to run back and forth for that long of a period of time. These people, holy shit, dude. I would have to give you credit for being able to run back and forth for that much fucking time. That is fucking amazing. I would not enjoy that myself personally. I mean, I'm not saying like the sport itself I enjoy, but I really have admiration for people who can run up and down a fucking field in the heat and play the game. I mean, because my ass, being as white as I am, I would burn. I'd be sunburned and all fucked, all types of fucked. But the types of sports that I get interested in and like watching, like I like watching UFC, especially Joe. Whenever Joe Rogan does a commentary, I like listening to them doing the commentary on it too. It's a really interesting sport. You know, I am, and if they make plenty of money off of it, you know, that's fine. It's an interesting sport. I think they should be able to. Um, just like the NFL makes a buttload of money. I mean, I don't get it, but you know, they make tons of money. And when they make these NFL games, these Madden games, I don't see why they just don't do the for the video games. I don't see why the players just don't do it just to do it, because they already make so much money. Why would you not want to put yourself in those video games? That's free publicity for you. Plus, you're going to be remembered at being in part of something historically wise in that video game. You're going to be inside that video game. Like, your character is going to be inside that video game. I remember playing the Nintendo Tecmo Ball. That game was awesome for what it was. It was awesome back whenever Nintendo came out. You know, having Bo Jackson, you're running up and down the field, you know, just being awesome. That game was fun. That game was so much fun. There's a lot of fun Nintendo games I remember playing. I need to give me one of those new ones where you can play the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. My kids are missing out that grew up now. It's because you had all those experiences playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo. We actually played on an Atari that was thrown away when I was a kid, and also what kids miss out. I guess you could like YouTube it or Google search it. Old MTV, they used to do like they used to do countdowns, and I mean not just the shit countdowns they have now, like where they cut off the end of the song. Like they played the whole fucking song. They had like all the old shit, like whenever for that time it was new. They had like Guns N' Roses, fucking whenever they had all their good shit coming out. They had like Michael Jackson's old shit like playing. You know, like, not at the time it wasn't old, but you know they had those bands. They had Metallica. They had AC/DC. They had all these different bands that were pretty amazing. And you know, like look at it now. It's full of shit. Like I'm surprised that cable is still around, because everybody knows the way of the future is through internet. And if you buy TV nowadays, it comes with like YouTube and internet channels on them. That's what a lot of this stuff is going towards. I mean, the social, like the media, the news media and the cable media, you know, those things, they're overcharging people for a service that's not that good. There's only like, whenever I had cable, there's only 2-3 channels that I like to watch, and it was okay. I mean, it was pretty good at the time. Like I liked to watch Central, I liked watching Adult Swim. Sometimes I would watch like different news channels to see like the stuff going on. But with the way they're pushing certain narratives and agendas, and then both sides, like Republicans and Democrats, it seems like there's agendas on like Fox News and leftist news sites, CNN and other stuff like that. I just hate how smug those things come off as. It's real douchey. And I can't, it's annoying whenever like this, I kind of lean center, maybe right on some things and a little bit left on some things. But whenever you hear people like talking really far on the side that they're on, it just comes off very douchey. Like with Bill Maher, there's a lot of things like I'll watch Bill Maher and he says things that can be funny, but there's a lot of really there's like a smugness that comes off of Bill Maher, and it's that type of thing that's annoying. It just comes off as annoying and because of how smug it is. Also, the guy who made Family Guy, he comes off as very smug too. It's very annoying. I mean, I don't mind putting my money into something or supporting something that I enjoy watching if somebody's making something from their own content. their own ideas, their own content and stuff. But it's annoying or douchey to push your political view or agenda into that thing and not expect people to get annoyed. Like, especially with Star Wars. Star Wars is not about politics. It's not about politics at all. Um, that's where their issue is. That's where their problem is. People want to go to watch movies, play video games, watch cartoons, whatever the thing is you're into. They don't want politics from any side shoved down their throat. They just don't. They don't want to be force-fed some weird agenda of Lando Calrissian making love to robots. Nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted that. Not one person. None of the supporters that are on the left, the far left, that like are far leftists, they're not supporters of these things that they're trying to take over and just ruin. It's just how it is now. But with that, I feel like this channel is very therapeutic. Helps me out. It really is. Yeah, I'd say it's really helps me therapeutically wise. Whenever I have to vent about, in that sense, it helps me out. You know, day-to-day life. You know, if you go to work, and then you come home, and then all you hear is this fucking negative political shit all the time about this maybe this will be like the one other thing that I wanted to talk about that rather does get annoying is whenever you nonstop, and I've lived through some presidents, okay? So the narrative I understand is it's this president, we don't like this person, so our side is going to bitch. Now it's this president and this the person. Now our side is going to bitch. And that's typically how the narrative goes, and all the blame for everything going wrong in those people's lives. They'll shit on the president, no matter if he's doing a good or bad job or whatever he's doing. They're just going to shit all over the president, whichever side it is. You know, it's just like with Obama. I literally heard white people. This was like white people too. You know, and there's a good majority of white people who also did vote for Obama, but there's a lot of white people who are saying, well, he's a Hitler, and he's the next devil incarnate. He's the Hitler. You know, I hear the same things that are being said like that about Trump. That's, you know, proof. And what I'm saying is each one of these presidents that comes along that's on this political side, narratively wise, that they claim, that get shit on each time that a new or different president's in every 4 to 8 years. This same shit happens, and I haven't really noticed a lot of differences. Like the further along we get, it used to have some differences. You know, like with Reagan. Reagan was very anti-gay rights, or anti-gay agenda because of his religious views. I don't know how honest or sincere, but he did seem like maybe he was very religious. You know, that whole thing, you know, like he was not for helping out, you know, gays with, you know, getting the medication that they needed for a lower cost. To him, that his religion was, you know, pretty much telling them, you know, that their lifestyle is wrong and that they're bad people for their sexuality. I don't believe, it's not my personal view, that people who are gay should be ostracized, or they should be shunned, or they should be treated differently than anybody else. I mean, you can, if you're wanting to joke around or fuck with those people, you know, those people that are, you know, gay, you know, and they're, you know, you personally know them, and they're okay with fucking around, you know, back and forth, you know, like, and you're friends with them, and you're like buddy, and that you're, you know, you have an understanding, and they fuck with you, you fuck with them, type of thing. But if you're saying those types of things to somebody, that's a different sexuality or a different ethnicity, and they don't know you, and you're saying these things, you're going to come off, of course, to them, you know, you're going to come off as being racist or sexist or bigot. But not everybody who understandingly wise, whenever somebody says something that you don't like, it does not necessarily mean that they're sexist, a bigot, and this and that, and everything else under the sun. You know, they could just be fucking with you. Just like Elite Intro Gamer was fucking with me when he called me a noob. You know, clearly, you know, in my opinion, he's trolling me, which is funny. I find it funny. I like to be people to be, you know, fucking with me. Not too far. I mean, fucking with me, sure, but not to the extent of like where they're saying shit where, you know, I feel like I'm going to be threatened or like taken out or some weird shit like that. But I'm sure, you know, people get threats like that all the time. Yeah, but I just, you know, it's a mental drain whenever, if that's like all you hear about is people shitting on the president. Like, if we could get something else going, some other narrative going other than 24/7 every day for each year for 48 years of Trump, you know, Trump, we call him Trump or Trump. I mean, it just seems, very like the subject seems very over cooked, overdone. That's like, seems like that's like each one though. Each one. Yeah, I think I'll end this here. Is these videos do really help me out, especially with venting and being, you know, from being frustrated. With that, I will end this video. Well, it's a live chat, but, you know, done the video. If you watch, thanks for watching.